I'd like for us all to take a moment, a few deep breaths, and just imagine yourself 18 years ago, in the year 2000. Where were you? Who were you? What was important to you, and how did you spend your time? Now compare that person to who you are now. Chances are they're pretty different. I'd like to tell you who I was, and in many ways who I still am. In the year 2000, I was a junior at Stanford University, and almost 18 years ago to this day, I was standing behind the starting blocks of the most important swimming race of my career. It was the finals of the Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia. I was in lane 6, and in lane 4 was a woman who hadn't lost this race in 6 years. She was the defending Olympic champion, the defending world champion, and the world record holder. Everyone, even the American press, said, "Oh, Misty Hyman, she has an outside chance for a bronze medal." But what all those people didn't know was that my coaches and I had talked about what it would take to beat Susie O'Neill. And we had trained every part of that race, and I knew that if I put together the race of my life at the most important moment of my swimming career, that I had a very small chance to beat her. But when the day of the race arrived, everything in my head just went calm and peaceful and quiet, and I thought to myself, all I have to do is go out there and swim. Do what I love doing most in the whole world, and do what I've been training my whole life to do, and that's swim butterfly. And when I dove in that pool, everything was in slow motion. I had the ultimate zone experience. I felt like everything was happening effortlessly and automatically. I knew that I was having the race of my life. And one of the best moments was that last turn when I could see the Australian, I could see Susie, and I pushed off underwater, and I knew that there was no way she was going to catch me. And when I touched the wall, I had to look up 3 times to be sure that was really a one by my name. Because for 16 years, I had been training for that moment. And I couldn't believe that, well, it was like a fairy tale, like a dream come true, or like I was actually living a movie. Something I had wanted so bad since I was just a little girl had actually happened. And that moment, in a lot of ways, defined me to the world, to millions of people who were watching on television, but also to myself. But the truth is, I'm not the person I am today because I have a gold medal in my back pocket. I am the person I am today because of all the things I went through to put myself in a position where this just might be possible. But that was just 2 minutes and 5 seconds of my life. 2 minutes and 5 seconds that I get to talk about a lot. And that changed my life forever, and I'm so grateful. But there are a lot of things in my life since that are just as important as this gold medal, that only a few people know about, that I'm just as proud of. You see, I'll always be this Olympic gold medalist, but I'll also be a lot more things as I am now and as I continue on my life path, as all of us are. You see, my coach, Bob Gillett, he was one of the most important people in my life, and he passed away last year. But one of the things he taught me was that if you want to get better, you have to change something. Every day when we went to the pool, we were always looking for what we could change to be a little bit better today than we were yesterday. Maybe it was the angle of our hand or the way we stayed underwater or how many breaths we took, but there was always something. And that's what made it so exciting. I never got bored swimming back and forth in a pool because there was always something I could change to get better. And that's something that I carry with me throughout the rest of my life. Because we all go through transitions in our lives. Maybe we reach a goal that we've been striving for a long time. Maybe we change careers. Maybe our kids grow up and go off to college. Maybe we look in the mirror and we don't look the same as we used to because age has taken its toll. Maybe somebody close to us has passed away. There's this feeling like we're trying to hold on to what was, and we try to behave like we used to, but it's not real, it's not authentic. And it's almost scary to ask, well, what now? Or the more important question, who am I now? I thought that the hardest transition that I would ever make in my life was giving up swimming. When I retired as a competitive swimmer, I didn't know who I was. I mean, what would I do with all this free time? I used to train 25 hours a week and study, and would people even like me without the gold medal? It took a long time. A lot of patience with myself, many awkward moments, and giving myself a lot of space. In a way, I had to mourn the person I used to be. That swimmer, I was never going to be the same. But it was also very exciting because I got to create myself anew. I was able to take the things that I knew from swimming and take them into this next part of my life. And what I found out was that I actually got to know this new person, and I really liked her. Since winning the gold medal, I have been a lot of things. I actually studied abroad in Santiago, Chile as an undergrad. I was a wedding planner in St. Croix in the Caribbean. I was a grad student in Switzerland. And most importantly, I am now a wife and a mother. But I was wrong. Giving up swimming was not the most important transition I would ever go through. About 11 months ago, my daughter was 6 weeks old. And I had just nursed her and put her down for a nap, and my mom was watching her. And I went to take the dog for a walk. And I walked out to the cul-de-sac, and I looked out at the horizon, at the desert, and I just sat down in the pavement. And more than one tear came to my eye. And I remember that was the moment that it hit me. What a huge change I had just been through in giving birth to my daughter. And there were parts of me that were petrified and scared that, how am I going to take care of this new life? But also so proud and privileged to be her mom. What a gift. But I also knew that there was a part of me that was never going to be the same. And I was so blessed to have a wonderful husband and so much support from both of our families that I was able to get up and push through that change and that identity shift. And a friend of mine sent me an article from the New York Times written by Dr. Alexander Sachs. And the article was called The Birth of a Mother. And the article actually talks about how so often when a mother is giving birth, all the focus and the attention is on the baby, the health and the well-being of the baby. And often we forget about what a big change and transition that the mother is going through. Even the mother forgets about it. And this article was so helpful because it gave me permission and space to actually recognize that transition that I was going through. And it actually gave me permission to give birth to my new self. And as I went on, I realized that there were a few things that I had to change if I was going to embrace this shift to this new identity as a mom. One of them was how I evaluate my days, or how I actually measure success. I realized that having been a swimmer and a lot of other things, that I always measured my success in terms of my checklist. I always have a long checklist on my phone, and when I sat down at the end of the day, I could evaluate if I was successful by how many little check marks there was, how many things did I get accomplished. And as a mother, of course, anyone who's ever been a parent knows that that checklist goes out the window. And I realized that there were more important ways to measure success. And it's hard to count baby snuggles and baby giggles and diaper changes and the way she squeals when she runs down the hall. And being able to learn the perspective to be present with her and to value and to measure my success by my time being present with her has changed me forever. And I know that will take me into everything else that I do. Because of course, we can't be who we're becoming without having been who we were. And so I get to take, just as we all do, all the things I've learned from my life into this next identity shift, and I know it won't be the last. We get to keep reinventing ourselves and giving birth to our new selves. And I know just as I watch my daughter first learn to crawl and then learn to walk, in very many ways I'm doing the same just alongside her. And just as I have a lot of patience with her as she's learning to crawl and to walk and she sometimes stumbles and falls, I have to do the same. And I get to do the same. And I know that I'll run and dance alongside her, and that one of the most important careers that I'll have in my whole life is being her mother. And that if I do that to the best of my ability, that will be my next gold medal moment. In fact, I truly believe that all of us have an opportunity in our lives to win our own gold medal in our own way. What is your next Olympic moment? What shift are you embracing? Thank you very much.